Now we will talk about the software which will be used for the editing, and I have told you there are lots of softwares that can be used for video editing, where we will use the Premium Pro CS6. You have already I have already given you the software and how to install, and all the instructions were there in my previous video. Here I will give you an introductory video about the software. So first of all, you need to open Premium Pro CS6. Here you will open this and it will take some time, and once it will be opened, then you will have a layout like this one. It will ask whether you want to reopen, whether you want to open a project that you have already made, or you want to have a new project. So since for the learning purposes I am going to make a I'm going to make a new project. So this window will open and it will ask about where you want to save this project. You have captured in what format you want to have audio in what format, and you want frames and feet wise, or you need the time code. You should have these settings of this window. Although these are the presets, you don't need to change this, because here we are using the digital format. We are not using the 35 or any other format. Here we are not using DV cams. Previously we used to have cameras where DV cams were used. Here we have the digital data, and that will be copied from your card of your camera. So here you will browse, and I have mm, I have a folder UCP edit class, and here's the footage, and I will make this project at this location or in this folder. You will select this folder. This will give you the path. Here you can have the name. You can have this name, and okay. This will ask you about the setting of your sequence. A sequence is a place where you will basically the environment where you will work, and the timeline. I will let you know what is timeline. It is basically the footage quality and number of audio and video layers, and then the quality of the footage as well. 1920 by 1080 is basically the footage which we the quality of the footage which we use, and then this digital SLR was used. So I'm going to make this folder. Rest of the settings will be dependent upon your sequence, the number of audio and video layers and all these, that we can increase and can change later. So you should know this one, where to go and what type of sequence you are supposed to make. When you will open this, when you will say okay, then an environment will open, and that environment will be basically the editing environment. It has number of windows. We can add and remove windows. This is my setting where I edit my videos. Here we have windows of audio, meters, information of the footage, the project, the tools. So I'll let you know what this all format is. By the way, you can change this workspace. We called it as the workspace. This setting where we have monitor, where we have timeline, all these can be changed. You go to workspace. Here you can have your own custom, or you can use any other, like I use this editing one. If there are other options as well, like if we do effect, this is the new workspace, but I use this editing workspace, where monitor is on the right side, timeline is in the bottom, and the rest of the things are like this. So this window is called as the monitor. Here you will see the footage. This is called as the timeline. The timeline is the same as the timeline of the concept of timeline, where we have things placed as per the time. At 1 minute, at 30 seconds, what footage will be there. These are called as tools, and we do different functions. We achieve different things through these tools: the cut tool, the expand tool, the pan tool. And I'm going to explain this as well. This one is the project window, where you have the information of the project. Here we have effects, audio effects, and video effects, and audio transitions and video transition. The basic difference of audio effect and transition is that you apply effect on a single footage, and you apply transitions when you join two footages. And here we control all these effects. So first of all, I will import, uh, tell you how to import. So this was the project where I have made. Here I have copied the footage that I'll be using this. Like when I will open this, uh, let me tell you, you will apply a double click here, and this window will open. If you don't want to do this, here you can go and you can you can have you can have the options where you can import things, and what you can like the new, here you can have a new sequence, the project, and all those things. And here you have in file, you have the option of import. Now if you do import, this will open the same window, and same can be achieved through the double click. Okay, double click and this will open. Then this is the footage. So I am going to import a footage like this one. Here I will select and say open. Now this will import these files. This is the timeline where we will place this newly imported footage. Now this is the footage that is a part of a documentary. And here a girl is there with her mother, and this sequence I'll be using. I'll show you where I'll use this sequence. You should have this thing in your mind, that this is the video layers and these are the audio layers. You can increase the audio and video layers as per your requirement. Like if you want to add a video layer, here you can add. And if you want to have audio layer, here you can have audio layers. We require for adding the ambient sound. We may require to add for the music as well. So this is the environment that we use for editing. And if we recall that the purposes, what is required and what is not required, to decide the mood of the scene, to remove any error. So let's see. So first of all, if we see that here if there is any part, like this is the part which I don't want to have in my sequence. Look, now the camera is being adjusted, and we will remove this. Now how we will remove this part, and to have what is required, like we want to remove from this is basically a razor tool. You will apply the razor tool, and you will again, let's suppose you don't want this part, so you will again select the selection tool, you will select this, and you will apply delete, and this will be removed. So this is how the first part, that what we want to to have and what we don't want to have is achieved through this cut. Okay, other than that, we have like the pen tool, and the pen tool is like if you want to increase or decrease the video the opacity or the volume of the audio, like this is the pen tool. You will select and enhance or decrease the specific audio. So this is the pen tool, this is the cut tool, and this is the zoom tool. You will zoom to increase, or you can do this with the same plus and minus on your keyboard as well. So these are the tools that you can use, and we have number of tools. You should know for the basic cutting, the cut tool and the volume tool, how you will increase and decrease. Now if we talk about how we can uh, play with the mood, here we have effects, in which we go and color. Okay, if you see, there are a number of options through which you can uh, play with the color. What I am going to do is that you see, whatever effect you want to apply, you will select and drop on the footage. Like this is the three-way color corrector. I will select, drag and apply on this footage. So here I will go for the color control or effect control, and now you see the tone of the uh, footage. Previously it was this, and now it is this. Every color will carry a specific tone, or you can even, if you want, you can play with this as well. Like you want to, if want to play with the saturation as well, you can play with the saturation as well. Like this is the one. So this is basically the point where I was saying that the mood of the footage can be improve, or whatever you want to have. You can have more colors as well if you want high saturation, if you want low saturation, but it will all depend upon your content whether you want to have this. So the second purpose is achieved through uh, decide the mood. Okay, remove any error, like I have shown you that the camera was jerky in a specific point, and I removed that. Okay, how to work on the narrative, how to work on the narrative. I will tell you the sound quality later on. How to work on the narrative is basically, this is the part that was I was using here, and let's suppose I have another footage that is basically another footage that is placed here. Now if I see whether I want to this is an introductory areas introduction, in which these two charts are shown. So will this be placed before this scene or not? This is basically the narrative, the information that you are giving. Or you may have interviews as well. Like let me show you. It contains interviews, it contains footages, uh, it contains different montages. So this was the part that I showed you, that this is a sequence that I made, in which mother is standing there and a girl is there uh, with this cutter. Now what we have tried, what I have tried to show, it's basically girl child marriage, documentary on girl child marriage. I want to use it as a metaphor or a sequence, metaphor or a symbol. So you can place, will you place this here, or this sequence will be placed before this interview. This is how you play with the narrative. And so I said, okay, you can improve the narrative, or play with the narrative in editing as well. As far as the sound is concerned, how we play with the sound is that you can improve, you can decrease, you have sound effects here, in which there are a number of audio effects. They call it as audio. You can balance, you can add bass into this, you can have delay. All the things can be achieved through when you will apply these. You will drag and drop on audio in this case, not on video. And so you will play, and then the audio effect is then this is how you can play with the quality of the sound as well. So and the last thing is how to add the computer graphics, or you can add computer graphics. Simple is that you will uh, go to file, and you will go and add a new title. Here is the title. It will ask you about the quality, and now you can add to this. Like if I have added this text to this uh, footage, we want to add. Now this is the title that will appear when you will save this. This will be saved here and with the name of title 1, and here you can have that text over here. The example of such in documentary I can show you here. Like you can add this text, or when you will, yes, look, these are the graphics where you are writing the name of a specific person. So this is how you can add the graphics. This is a very basic video in which I have told you the basic environment and the purpose of editing software and the basic purpose of editing.